Yesterday we made a video about how a lot of Europe is apparently making age restriction on a lot of their things going into the future. And at first, I thought this was very simple. I thought it was you made an account, and if you want to get around it, you just put the account on 18 plus. But in fact, the what they're doing instead is they're making it where you have to show your ID, you have to like send them your address, you have to like confirm that it's you 100% before being able to use some of these apps. This includes apps like Spotify, YouTube, I believe Twitch, anything that basically could have 18 plus content on it will have to have a verification with your ID. And this is actually crazy, bro. Like this is like cyber security, like weirdo type of stuff. And people will say, "Oh, well, it's for the safety of the kids." What? No, no, it's not. It's to make it where less and less people can use the internet. Because the only people that this directly affects isn't kids, right? The only people this directly affects is people that maybe are struggling in any way, shape, or form, maybe like to get their ID, or maybe they're struggling in like other way where they don't actually have like a set home address or something of that sort. And obviously, same way in America that there's ways around this, there is going to be ways around it in Europe as well that are going to be like fully legal. Obviously, you staying at someone's house and then having them put in your address, and there's just like some long term ways you can kind of get around stuff like this. But when you have to upload your ID front and back, you have to put in your birth date, your ID. You have to put in your name, your home address, like everything. That's like a severe cybersecurity issue. Like, I'm pretty sure if people can hack, what was it, like a couple years ago, like Social Security, right? People can basically hack anything. So, you are essentially giving all of your life data, I guess you could say, to this company or companies so you can essentially listen to music or watch a YouTube video. Like, you are physically making your country worse by implementing this, which makes zero sense to me. And I'm not saying like any other country besides America is bad or something like that. I think that's a weird take. I'm not one of those guys. I'm just saying that this thing in particular, where you have to have a age verification to a point where you have to show your ID, you basically have to put in all your information, is very gross. And as someone who grew up a lot in tech and grew up a lot in cybersecurity a lot, because that's like all the classes I took growing up, and everything that I was interested in. It's kind of one of those things where you're like, man, if this gets hacked, EU's going like down, bro. Like, what are they thinking? I just don't really comprehend it. And then on top of that, it's like I could understand if it was a little bit of stuff. Like maybe if it was just YouTube, okay. Actually, if it was just Twitter, okay. I think everybody would agree with that because Twitter is notoriously like the most random, like you're scrolling and it's like Harry Potter memes or whatever you like, and then all of a sudden, you're just getting hit with some like weird stuff, some weird stuff. Okay, I could see that, needing your ID for that, 100%. Or you go into some explicit websites. Okay, that makes sense. But to go to YouTube to watch a Mr. Beast video, really? To watch a Mr. Beast video, you got to show your identification and your social security and your home address. Interesting. And I think it's crazy because it's like, how is this gonna work? Right? Is this gonna work in a way where everybody's gonna have to do this? Like, let's say someone from a different country goes and visits a country that is implementing this. Is this going to also work on them? Like, is it going to pick up on their thing? Because I know for me personally, if I went to a different country and it said putting your ID, your social security, your home address, your state of residence, and like all this stuff, to be able to play music on Spotify, be able to play some candy pop or something like that. I don't know. Then I would probably be like, yeah, I think I'll just go home. Like, that sounds miserable, bro. the thing is, like, obviously we live in a different society just in general, but I'm very grateful that we have so much freedom of speech in America because I could never even start to imagine how much the internet is locked off from the rest of the world. Because we already know in places like, let's say, China or North Korea, or I think like Japan, Russia, the Ukraine, like we already know that these places have a very limited access to the internet as it is. Like even with the internet access that they have, there's a lot of it that's banned or locked off, or you'll just never see it. And it's the same way in America too, right? In America, there is stuff that they have in other countries that we will never see a day in our life. But I think like that's fine, because then if you go there, you get to experience it. But when it gets to the point where you're sanctioning off stuff that's like day to day, that's just so weird. Because how the EU is basically taking this is like you might as well just make it where it's for the entire internet. You have to have an ID, and this is just talking theoretically, right? But like how it just sounds like you're gonna have to have an ID to basically do anything on the internet. Yeah, imagine you're searching up how long to cook up pasta, and you have to put in your ID. Like that just sounds so ridiculous to me. And it's getting to the level of like suppression that literally I think like literally like North Korea has. If you're getting to I know it sounds weird, but if you're getting to the point where you have to put in all of this information to use the internet, you're going really far away from freedom of speech. And it really sucks for anybody who's going to have to go into different countries that they're going to basically be very very limited in what they can say, what they can do, or anything, because this isn't just a means of showing who you are and verifying your age. It's a means of fully tracking you. So if you say anything on the internet like ever again, you live in an EU country, they're gonna know everything about you. No more being Mr. Anonymous, I guess you could say. And at that point, you might as well just make your name your real life name. And it's so weird to say that because like I grew up in a way where it's like you don't tell people your online address, like no matter what. You make sure that you are always using some sort of alias, something where people aren't going to be able to find who you are or anything like that based off of like your name. Um, and that was like a big thing of why Xbox had like gamer tags and stuff like that. So that way, like, yeah, it was a cool nickname, but it was also a way to hide who you really were. So I'm very curious how this will work in general because you already know that every single person who is on whatever platform you're on is using their entire information, and people already have a problem with getting like completely doxxed on the internet. I mean, like random people too. If you play Call of Duty, I think a lot of people remember the old COD lobbies where you would just like randomly have your address typed into chat, or someone would just like say it back to you because like you would start smack talking or something like that. It's like this just takes it to the next level because now it's just gonna always be in the system, and there's gonna be like little to nothing that you're gonna be able to do against it. So yeah, and there's many more issues than what I'm even talking about too. So I just think it's crazy. So right now, hold on, pull this article. 27 European Union member states are expecting to put this into place. Yikes. Man, that's rough. Let me know what you guys think about these new like age restrictions, I guess you could say, in European countries. Maybe you're actually really cool with it, or maybe you just despise it completely. But I think it's really weird. I think it's a cybersecurity issue for the entirety of the country, no matter who you are. Um, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. If we get an update on this, we'll talk about it again. So have a wonderful night, guys. Peace.